Pastor Roy Gearhart from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Yesterday, as I introduced the message, I shared a story that I remember Ravi Zacharias telling years ago about a prison cell. And everyone who was placed in this prison cell went completely insane because it was completely disorienting to their mind, and they would not be able to sustain their sanity in this cell. What was so terrible about it? Well, for one, it was in total darkness. They would drop the person through a hole in the ceiling and then cover that hole, and the person was left in total darkness. That in and of itself is really disorienting. If you've ever waken up in the middle of the night in a place that you're unfamiliar with and it's completely dark, you know what I'm talking about. Complete disorientation. Or maybe you've been out in the woods and it got dark and you were without any landmarks, nothing that you could see, no stars, no moon, nothing to get your bearings. You understand how disorienting that can be. But even in the dark like that, if you could find some kind of touchstone, a landmark, a tree, a creek that you could follow out, you would be able to get your bearings. But the thing about this cell is that there was nothing in it by which you could get your bearings in the dark. It was a round cell, smooth walls. There was nothing there to get your bearings with. There were no corners, no stop points, no points of reference at all. And this is what drove people completely insane, in total darkness and nothing that they could find as a reference point. It tells you something about our need as a human being to have some anchor point in our life, some point of reference by which we can determine this is where I am. This is where I am either moving out from or where I am returning to, but we need that sense of a point of reference in our life in order to have a sense of stability and direction. And Ravi said, though, that there was one person that they placed in this cell that managed to maintain his sanity. And when they tried to discern how, this man, after weeks, plenty of time to go mad in this hole, was still in his right mind. They determined that it was because he had, when he entered into that hole, 6 stones in his pocket. And he would count those 6 stones. He would just be able to touch them and one by one count them off. And even though he couldn't find a point of reference in the wall or by sight, these became his anchor point. These were his point of reference. Something that he could actually hold on to. Literally, a tangible that he could hold on to. And that he could go back to that over and over again and just count those rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And somehow being able to hold on to those things and have a truth that was there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There they were. Gave him what he needed to hold on to his sanity. Well, in our current circumstances, all of us have been thrown into upheaval. We feel like our culture is going through dramatic changes. We're dealing with the stresses that the pandemic restrictions and changes have caused. All of these things have caused a sense of destabilization. People feeling like they have no point of reference and they're having a terrible time getting oriented. And as we look at our lives in those terms, we realize how deeply each of us needs an anchor point. I want to invite you to make Christ that anchor point in your life. He's not a physical object that you're going to grab onto. He's not a point of reference like a house, a building, or a job. But he is something, though, that can go with you even in the darkness. can go with you into every moment of chaos, every situation that feels like it's out of control. He is that one truth that is eternal, that is beyond all of those temporary situations and circumstances of life, that you and I can get hold of and count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There he is. And know the truth that God loves us, that Jesus died for us. He rose again. And in him, we have life that gives us eternal hope. May God bless you today. And as you share this good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.